everyone, and welcome back to Emkin Gardening. It is a glorious, beautiful spring day today, and that is great news for us because we are going to be planting a bunch of vegetables and creating a new berry patch. We have 3 locations on our property that we plant vegetables, but the main one is actually in our driveway bed. So this is all the way down at the very end of our giant driveway. It's only about 3 feet wide, but it gets full sun, and this is where we have been successful planting veggies before. Again, we live in a small downtown setting, so utilizing all of this space that you can is key. So we are going to plant the majority of our vegetables here and create a little berry patch right along this fence as well. So without further ado, let's talk about what we're going to plant first. All right, so as many of you know, if you've been following us for a long time, we absolutely adore growing vegetables in grow bags. They have wonderful airflow, they have great drainage because of the fabric vessel that they're in, and they give us a raised bed type soil depth without having like metal or wood permanence. We can fold these up and put them in the garage over the winter, and it's a wonderful vessel to grow veggies. So in our grow bags, we are going to be putting just some classic eggplant, some Roma tomatoes, green peppers, and red peppers. You'll be able to see an update on our potatoes. They're doing amazingly. And in those grow bags, we used about halfway up with old soil from last year, which was new soil last year, but we put it in our back behind the garage and we put a tarp over it for the winter, and it kind of stays there, but it's so rich still. When we were kind of using our gorilla cart to load up the bags again, there was worms all in it, so it's really great soil. So we used the old soil for half of it, and then we amended it with some biotone, and we put new soil on top. So it's really fertile and rich, which is perfect for growing our veggies. So we did decide to mix it up a little bit this year. Last year we had bags going all the way down in our veggie spot, and we quickly realized that we planted too much. We weren't able to consume all of it, and that is kind of a priority for us, is making sure we're only planting things that we know we can consume. There's only 2 of us, so less is more when it comes to our eating. We did decide to move our berry patch to this location. So we do have 2 blueberry bushes over by our apple tree and our pear tree. We're deciding to move all of that right here, create a new fruit berry patch. We have 3 raspberries we're going to be planting, a new blueberry bush, and then we're going to transplant those other 2 blueberry bushes right here. This is a full sun location, and I think they're going to be a little bit happier here without the shade of the trees kind of hovering over them throughout the season. So for this blueberry bush, it is a jelly bean blueberries, very sweet like blueberry jelly. So I'm very excited for this to be, I think we have a Jersey one, and then I don't remember the name of the other blueberry bush, but I think having 3 of them will help with production. So they're going to be right in front, and we're going to put our raspberries right behind them. We have a double gold yellow raspberry, which is an everbearing, so it's going to produce fruit in June and then again in the fall. It's kind of like a pink color. It's supposed to be really sweet. And then we have an Ann yellow raspberry, and this one is yellow, and it's supposed to taste like apricot. And again, an everbearing, so early summer, and then again another crop in the fall. And then we have a Joan J. Red raspberry, which is going to be a classic raspberry flavor. This one is thornless, and it doesn't need supports, but we will have it up against a fence just in case. Now, because this is their first season, we're probably not going to get that June crop. We'll probably get a crop in the fall. But very excited about our new blueberry and raspberry patch that we're going to go right here. On the other side of me, we've decided to grow corn. This is our first time growing corn. We are using Johnny's seeds. This is a super sweet corn variety. So we're going to hopefully get 8 corn stalks in this little area right here. And we put it kind of closest to the hydrangea tree so that when the sun's coming through, it's not shading anything else in the area. So very excited about utilizing this space to its fullest potential, and I hope that we are very productive. So our game plan is to plant up this driveway bed with all of the things that we just talked about, and then move on to the other 2 locations on our property. So let's plant some fruits and veggies. On our property that we have some vegetables, but before we delve into it, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to my wonderful co-teacher and my amazing pre-K students. They delivered a super special present to us here. They got a sign, Emkin's Garden fresh produce sign. It's so cute. So they got us a sign, and then they got us this awesome bench. It's super sturdy, and you can fold it down into a kneeling pad as well. And these side pockets can come off, and you can wear it around your waist to like hold your tools. And bless their 5-year-old hearts, they all painted garden stakes with every single vegetable and fruit that we are growing on our property. So we're gonna decorate and label all of our fruit and vegetables with these amazing stakes that my students painted and wrote beautiful pre-K writing on. And I'm just so happy and thankful for this wonderful garden present. Thank you, love you. All right, so behind me we have 2 of our wooden raised bed structures. We have a rectangle shaped raised bed, which we've really enjoyed. It was a blessing last year to have all of our tomatoes, and as you can see, we have buried treasure strawberries from Proven Winners in here still. They overwintered, they're perennials, so we'll take a closer look at those in a little bit. But we are going to be putting our sun sugar tomatoes in here this year again because they did so well last year, as well as just regular cherry tomatoes in this bed too. And then to the right of me, we have our 3-tiered raised bed. This was awesome last year. We grew our peppers last year. We grew too many hot peppers last year, so we have really dialed it down this year. We're going to be planting 3 jalapeno plants and 3 garden salsa plants. And that is the plan so far for this raised bed, is just 3 jalapeno plants on the top and 3 garden salsas in the middle. And we haven't quite decided what is going to go on the bottom, or whether it's going to be flowers or what. We haven't quite decided yet. But let's take a closer look at the strawberries in this raised bed and then talk about how we're going to plant up our tomatoes. So we have 2 different colored blooms in this bed for our strawberries. We have the pinks and the red variety from Proven Winners. And as you can see, they are thriving. We have a ton of strawberries back here that are growing, as well as tucked in here. And we do have one that is ripe right over here. So they're going to be ripening up very quickly. And these bloom all season long, so that is pretty fantastic. They're ever-bearing. With these little runners that it's already kind of shooting out, this is exactly what I did last year too, hence why we have so many now, because I think I only had 4 plants last year. And now they've taken over the back and everything, which I love. I'd rather more. I just kind of tuck them in and let them root back in behind them. All right, so what we're going to do with this bed is we are going to add a little bit of fresh soil where we're planting. We're going to amend it with Biotone starter fertilizer, and then we're going to pop it in. We are going to be putting one of the big tomato cages on it. That was a mistake last year. We just put a normal tomato cage. It was not big enough. Cherry tomatoes and sun sugars, they grow very tall. So we're gonna put a big cage on it this year. All right, let's plant them up. Okay, so for our 3-tiered raised bed, we're going to do something very similar. We're going to add more fresh soil, amend the soil. We're going to dig our 3 holes, probably boom, 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 covered up with new soil, and then go on to the garden salsas. Here we go. Patio space right by our back door is our Southern Patio Flex Space Raised Modular Garden Bed. These are really cool. They have these 3 rectangular raised beds that you can actually do different designs with. We did a video on it last year. This is for our herb space. You can hear Chet. He's loving the fact that we're right there and he can't get to us. So we're going to start our herb space this year with the Amazel Basil. We got Amazel Basil last year. It got 3 feet tall by 2 feet wide. It got frisbee damage and it still performed amazingly. The one thing that is the top notch with Amazel Basil is the fact that when it bolts, it does not change the flavor of the basil. So we were picking this all season long into the fall. You can just pinch off the buds if you want, but you don't have to. It's not going to change the taste. So this one plant we're going to put in this one modular bed because again, it's going to get 3 by 2. It's going to get really big. So we put fresh soil in. We're going to amend it with our Biotone starter fertilizer and then be done at the moment with our herb bed. Here we go. So this is our last growing space for produce on our property. It is our metal raised bed. It is about 8 feet long by 2 feet wide. And as you can see, we have our garlic up and growing really nicely. We kind of had to barricade it a little bit because a certain little Diz decided to jump in and out of it and trample on our garlic. So we kind of have it barricaded a little bit. But in this bed, we're going to have our zucchini, our yellow squash, we're going to do our carrot seeds, and our sugar snap peas. I'm loving being able to like sit on a nice bench and do all of this. This is wonderful. We have our snap pea trellis all ready and our wrappy clips all ready to go for our snap peas. So we are going to plant our 3 zucchini plants about where they went last time. We're going to do 1, 2, and 3, and then go in with our yellow squash. 1, 2, 3. We have a volunteer squash plant. We don't know if it's a zucchini or a yellow squash yet. It's right here. It started growing on its own. So we're going to keep that and see what kind of mystery squash it is. But I also wanted to show you quickly, before we start planting, our strawberries that we have in ground in this area. We're kind of letting them go wild. These are June-bearing strawberries, so they're going to be bigger than our ever-bearing in the raised beds. Let's check them out. Okay, so as you can see, the leaf structure themselves get significantly bigger, but as do the strawberries. They are going to get quite large in comparison to the ever-bearing. So the ever-bearing, while they will last all season, the June-bearing will get nice and big, kind of more like the grocery store size that you're used to. So these ones are super fun because as soon as Lexi finds out that they're here, we have to move very quickly to harvest any. But it's fun to have both the June-bearing and the ever-bearing strawberries in your bed, so you kind of get the nice big ones all at once in June harvesting, and then you kind of pick off those little ones throughout the season. So with the other planting, we're going to add some new soil in, put the biotone in, and plant up the remaining of our vegetables. Here we go. Project, but we got all of our veggies planted. We're really excited about growing this year. We did scale it back quite a bit from last year. Last year we were a little bit too ambitious and we were not able to keep up with all of that food. So this year we really were conscious about how much we eat and planting the varieties and the amount of those varieties that we needed to handle our food consumption. So we hope you liked this video. We'll link everything we possibly can down below for you to check out if you're interested. But we're hoping that you're having a fantastic Saturday. Happy Memorial Day weekend if you guys are in the States. Again, thank you for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it. Give us a thumbs up, comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe to Emkin Gardening. And again, shout out to Coral Reef Pre-K at Roots Learning Center. I love you. Thank you for all of our new toys we get to play with. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.